Hello and welcome back. Welcome to today's video. Just a little update at first. You'll see that we have the Black Sabbath is still up in the forefront here. First of all, I had a subscriber who wants to know about, when am I going to do the comparison between these two records, because he let me know that of all the records of the Rhinos, this was the best sounding of all four. And when I compared what I had, I kept this one because it sounded better than that original Japanese swirl that I had. So, I mean, he's absolutely right. This pack a punch. This is going to have a lot of good sound on it. So it's going to be really interesting to see how much better is this, or is it better? And then we'll get a better reference for all those other sanctuaries. Really, how does all that stuff add up? So I'm going to be doing that within the next couple of weeks. As soon as I get my stereo set up, I'll do that right away. That'll be interesting to find out for myself too. Also, there was a couple other. Let me see. Let me get the record back out here. There was a couple other labels, like the NEMS. They're very popular. A lot of them are made in the UK. I've never heard of good pressing. NEMS, I don't know what their deal is. They don't make good sounding records. They're okay. Now, here's the thing about labels like NEMS and other things. When you say you've just got a palm tree scratched up one, and you say, oh, look at this, you say import, and you go and buy it, and you take it home and yeah, this sounds great. Right, what are we going to say? What am I going to say? What are you comparing it to? Because if you go get one of these, and then you compare it to the NEMS, you're going, what in the world? What happened to the NEMS? What are they doing over there? Yeah, NEMS, German presses are good, but they're not as good as the UK presses. They're not. Every time I've got a German, like say for instance on the swirls, Paranoid, I had a Vertigo swirl of that. I had a German Vertigo swirl. But you know what? The sound wasn't that great on it. It was okay. German, they make some good presses. But like on the Brain label with all those German type bands, those kind of stuff always excel because it's, the country of origin. But when it comes to UK swirls on the German, pressed in Germany, they're not. It's like my Alex Harvey record. I've got one now. It's on a German swirl, which is the first press, obviously, of that record. But my Vertigo Spaceship label sounds a lot better than the swirl. So, and that's another thing. I had another subscriber let me know that the Vertigo Spaceship, which is the second edition for all the Black Sabbath, will be on the Vertigo Spaceship label. He's got the swirls and he's got the Spaceship label, and he said they sound identical. So if you can find that Spaceship for the Black Sabbath, that's another go-to one to get. Get those. I wouldn't recommend. No, there's another place that really presses good records. That's Holland. If you see a good deal on one pressed in Holland, I'd pick it up and give it a go. I would have a listen to that. I think they would be really good. And of course, if you want to get a really great sounding copy and you don't want to spend a lot, and they're still readily available. I just looked on Discogs. The Rhino reissues from around 2010, 2011 in there. Those are very good. That's the ones that I had, and they're going to be as good as a Green Warner Brother original press, I would say. Now, another thing that people have been I get a lot of lately is that, oh, Ron, you're making videos again. I have to do a lot of catching up. I didn't know you were making videos. I think YouTube has added a feature on their subscriber where you go down when you can subscribe. It's got a little bell next to it. I think they've added that here in the last couple years or so. So the last time I was making regular videos, that option when you all subscribed back in the day, that little bell option wasn't available. So if you want to get a notification for my video or somebody else's video, make sure you go down there, which most of y'all know that, but just as a reminder, go down, hit that little bell, then you'll get your notification. So here we go. Now today we're going to be talking about a couple of bands here. First up is the Kinks. This is because of a viewer request. Ron, can you do your Kinks records? And this kind of the same on both of these. I'm going to do the Kinks, and then I'm going to do Joni Mitchell. And both of those artists, I used to have a lot of their records, but they didn't make the second purge. Some didn't even make the first purge. And I have what I have now because, like I said 100 times already, I'm sorry to repeat, when you get over 1,000, 1,200 records, you can't listen to all of them. And over time, there's a certain sector of those records that you really listen to a lot, because there's so many great groups out there. I want to listen to, I'm in the mood for this group, I'm in the mood for this, I'm in the mood for that. I'm not in the mood to listen to every Kinks record they ever made. I'm never going to do that. And the way I like to listen to music is I'll take a record out and I'll listen to a couple songs on one side and I'll listen to maybe 2 or 3 on the other side. A lot of times that's what I'll do. Or I'll just put, and then of course there's a lot of other times I put the first song on side 1 and I'm not done till the last song on side 2. Like a lot of those early Blue Oyster Cult records, you just can't stop listening to them. There's a lot of records like that. You start listening, you just can't stop listening to it. And it's something, I think I had mentioned this in a video before, but I was watching one of Melinda's videos today, and she had I think it was a MoFi that she had put on, and she was doing housework, and she had to stop and sit down and listen to it. Because that's what records will do to you. They have such great fidelity, and they have that you'll get an emotional connection with those records. And you cannot do housework. It's not background music. That's the difference between, if you want to do housework, put on Spotify, play a CD. Yeah, you'll be doing you won't even want to, you're not going to sit down and listen to it. That's just, I don't know why it's like that, but it is. But you put a record, especially a really good recorded record, you're going to have to sit down and listen to it. And you're going to get the thrill ride that you deserve. When you get a really good record, it's great. So anyway, let's go on with the Kinks. I have Low Budget, and I was able to pick this up here a few years back. They were reissuing them on 180 gram vinyl. And I don't know what I had to compare this to. It's still in the shrink, of course. But this record really sounds good. This is a really good sounding record. The Kinks Low Budget on 180, limited edition, 180 gram. I think it's made in USA, so that's good. But yeah, these are really good sounding records. They were just limited edition, and it's back in the day, so they're still analog. They weren't making digital records yet, so that's all good. That's a good one. I'm not going to bother with those other sleeves. Usually I take them off. It's just a pain in the neck. I forgot to do it on these. Okay, so next up, Schoolboys in Disgrace. Now, there's actually like 4 records. They're all from the same time period here. From 74 to like 79, 78. Schoolboys in Disgrace. I know all the songs on here. I love the record. Went out and got me a first edition Japanese of it. Of course, all my records, and I don't really show the records because you can't really see the vinyl on the camera. But just so you all know, yeah, if you put this under the bright light and look at it, you won't see anything on there. Because that's just another criteria I have. I want them near mint. And some are pristine condition. That's the thing, you know. We'll get to talking about, people will start talking about record grading, and oh, there's no such thing as a near mint record. I've never seen a record without a scratch or a nick or anything on it. Well, start collecting some Japanese super vinyl. This stuff is very durable. It's very resistant to that type of stuff. If you treat it properly, and you're just using, you know, good inner sleeves like this that don't scratch your records, yeah, you're not going to have, they don't get scratches on them. Now, being pristine, that's perfect. And I have seen a number of records, 40, 50-year-old records out of Japan that I've got, that I would say are pristine. There's not a lot of them. There's a lot of near mint. And you know, then you're going to go down from everything else. They have, of course, every other grade as well. But you can find some really, really nice looking records. And then Sleepwalker. That's another Japanese press I have. This is not really one of my favorites, but I remember, you know, back in the day with all the gang, we listened to this quite a bit. And I was able to pick it up at a really, really good price. So it's a first edition, so I like it. Good record. And then we have the old Misfits. This is a really good record. This is probably one of my favorite Kinks records, because why? I'll tell you why. Because it's got one of my favorite Kinks songs on it. He's got a guy. There's a guy in my block, and he lives for rock, and he listens to records day and night. Right? That's why I like this record, because that song is awesome. It's a rock and roll fantasy. Right? You can all sing it in your head right now, and if you're not, you should be ashamed of yourself. You need to get this record. You need to go on YouTube, and you need to listen to that song. Right? Rock and roll fantasy. Of course, this is an older MoFi, you know, the Japanese ones, and this is how they came back in the day. Had this fold out like this, and look, he's holding T for the Tillerman. And they got Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, Fleetwood Mac, Beatles, and get some Kenny Rogers on a MoFi. Styx, Supertramp, and of course there was always just a white label back then, and it had the logo of the whatever record it was. And then I've got a regular paper inner sleeve. No, this is the it's the insert with all the lyrics on it, which is nice. And it's not a gatefold, anything like that. Here you go. Up next, the Joni Mitchell, and this is her first record, and it doesn't have the title anywhere, but this, I believe it's called "Song to a Seagull," and this is her first record that she ever put out. And I don't believe it's a first edition, but it's very early. It's on the Steamboat, and it sounds great. There's probably something out there that sounds better. I just haven't been bothered to look. I've seen a couple Japanese copies out there. I just wasn't heavily motivated to get anything else. Now, there's another one that I really like. It's called Clouds. And I looked through I spent an hour looking through all my records. I don't know what happened to it. But if I can't find it, I'm going to buy another one, because I really like that one as well. That's a good record too. Clouds. And then Court and Spark. And look what this is. This is a Rhino. This is back when Rhino was making the best records in the world. I still got the original shrink that I keep it in. And look at that cover. All raised lettering. Got the nice gatefold on it. I mean, just like the original Canadian press, which I've owned before. And look how nice this record is, and the record is as thick as it ever was back in 1974. And of course I got it in the double disc keeper archive. 180 gram. Got the original Asylum label on it. Pristine record surfaces. Ultra quiet, pressed at RTI. I used to have the DCC of this Joni Mitchell record that was made by Steve Hoffman, and it had one of those shiny covers. It wasn't as nice as this cover, and it didn't sound as good as this record right here. This is the ultimate, and you know, you can still get these. I know they were on sale here just last year again. You can probably, I don't know what they're going for now, but I haven't looked it on Discog, but I know they've got these. If you like Joni Mitchell at all and you don't have this, you need to go buy this record. This is this is my favorite Joni Mitchell record, and it's right up there on my top 10 of all time great records ever produced on the planet. Every song on here is great. And if you play it and you're going like, well, you know, it's okay, Ron, it's not the greatest, keep listening to it, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to fall in love with this record. It's great. It's one of those records, the more you listen to it, the better it gets. And then you're just going to be in love with it for the rest of your life after. It's just a fantastic record. And then I have this one here. It's on a limited edition. And it is a gatefold. Wild Things Run Fast. I've got it on a nice inner sleeve. On Giffen records. Nothing real special. Just on a special vinyl formulation. Good record though. Now, you know, some of the other ones that are obviously missing out of here, I'm not real big fans of those records. I guess I didn't play them enough. But you know, if I'm wanting Joni Mitchell, you know what I'm doing. I've got the couple that the records that there's about 3 or 4 that I really like. I'm gonna listen to that, and then we'll move on. Well, I guess I spent too much time talking about the Black Sabbath stuff again. So this video, the time's almost up. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for subscribing to my channel and for clicking on the notification. So keep you up to date. You can get your daily dose, and you know, the weekends here I might be able to kick out a few extra ones. So wish me luck, and thanks everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and do let me know if you do have a request, and let me know what you think of the videos, and I appreciate it. Bye bye.